Today we're talking about the dark Gothic horror film, The Bride, a story that asks a terrifying question. What happens when science finally defeats death, but the thing it brings back doesn't want to exist? Because this movie isn't really about a monster. It's about a woman who wakes up in a body that was never meant to be hers. And the moment she opens her eyes, the nightmare begins. The story begins in a cold, industrial European city sometime in the early 20th century. Smoke rises from factory chimneys. Rain falls endlessly on dark cobblestone streets. Hidden deep inside an abandoned laboratory, a group of scientists are attempting something humanity has dreamed about for centuries: bringing the dead back to life. At the center of it all is a brilliant but obsessed scientist, a man who believes death is not a natural ending, but simply a technical problem waiting to be solved. Years earlier, he succeeded in creating a living creature assembled from pieces of human bodies. The experiment worked, but the result terrified the world. The creature was powerful, misunderstood, and rejected by everyone who saw it. But the scientist believes he made one mistake. He created life without giving it companionship. So now he has a new plan. He will create a partner for the creature, a being designed to calm it, to understand it, to stay by its side forever. A bride.
On a violent, stormy night, the laboratory comes alive with electricity. Machines buzz, sparks flash across metal wires.
Lightning crashes through the sky as a lifeless body lies motionless on a cold steel table. The scientists activate the equipment. Electricity surges through the room. The body begins to twitch. Fingers move. Then suddenly, her eyes open. For a moment, the room goes completely silent. The experiment worked then. But something about the way she looks at them immediately feels wrong. She isn't confused like a newborn life form. She isn't empty. She is aware, watching, thinking. And that terrifies the scientists even more than failure would have. As the days pass, the bride begins to understand the world around her. She learns words. She learns faces. She learns fear. But more importantly, she begins asking questions.
Who am I? Where did this body come from? Why was I brought back? Why won't you answer me?
To them, she isn't a person. She's a project, a solution to a problem they created.
I'm not your experiment!
Eventually, the moment comes that the scientist has been waiting for. The bride is finally introduced to the creature. The laboratory doors open slowly. Heavy footsteps echo through the hallway, and the monster enters the room. Massive, scarred, silent. For years, he has lived in isolation, feared by everyone who sees him. But when he sees the bride, something changes. For the first time, he is not alone. The scientist expects happiness. He expects connection. But what happens instead is far more complicated.
They are the same. Both were created.
Both were forced into existence. Both are experiments. As time passes, the bride begins to feel trapped inside the laboratory. The scientists study her constantly, recording every reaction. She slowly realizes that her life does not belong to her.
She was created for a purpose, to control the creature, to fix their mistake.
But the more she learns about the world, the more she refuses to accept that role. One night, everything changes.
The bride escapes the laboratory. The creature follows her into the city. And suddenly, the quiet industrial streets become the stage for chaos. Citizens panic when they see the two figures wandering through the fog. Police begin searching for them. The scientists realize their experiment is no longer under control. But the truth is far worse than they imagine. Because the bride is no longer afraid. She is angry. Angry at the people who created her. She was angry at the world that saw her as a monster. And angry at the idea that she was brought back to life without a choice. As the story builds toward its final act, the city becomes a battlefield between science and humanity. The creature wants only one thing: to protect the bride. But protecting her means confronting the very people who created them both. Meanwhile, the scientist becomes increasingly desperate. To him, this experiment represents his life's work. If it fails, everything he believed about conquering death collapses. So he decides to hunt them down, no matter the cost. The final confrontation is not just about survival, it's about identity. The bride must decide who she truly is, a creation built for someone else's purpose. This isn't just a story about experiments gone wrong. It's a story about control, identity, and the terrifying consequences of playing God. It's the moment that monster realizes it deserves to live.